The Galactic Council was a powerful group of aliens from many different planets. They had lived for thousands of years, traveled through the stars, and seen many kinds of life. They believed they understood the universe and all its mysteries. They knew about the dangers of war, the power of advanced technology, and the secrets of space. But one thing they never fully understood was Earth. For a long time, the Council had been watching humans. They found the Earth to be a strange and interesting planet, but also very simple. They believed humans were a primitive species. The Council had never visited Earth in person, but they had studied it from afar. From the reports they received, they assumed that humans were not as advanced as other races in the galaxy. They thought humans were stuck in their ways, living simple lives, building simple technology, and creating simple art. The first thing that puzzled the Council about humans was their technology. Humans had things like cars and computers, but their machines were nothing like the advanced weapons and ships that the aliens used. The Council thought that human technology would never be able to match theirs. Humans seemed to have a lot of potential, but it wasn't clear how far they could go. They weren't like the other species the Council had met, species that had traveled to other planets and built massive starships. But the thing that truly confused the Council was human art. The Council members had seen many different forms of art in the galaxy. They had seen beautiful sculptures, paintings, and music that made them feel emotions they had never felt before. But human art seemed different. It wasn't as complex as the art of the other species, and it didn't have the same depth. The Council thought it was strange that humans, with all their potential, could not create something as beautiful as what the other species had made. They assumed that humans simply didn't have the ability to see the world the way the Council did. Maybe they could only see in basic colors, like black and white. Maybe they couldn't see the world in the same vivid way the other species could. So the Council decided to send a small group of scientists to Earth to study humans more closely. They wanted to understand what made them tick, why they seemed so different, and whether they were a threat or just a simple species that would never be able to compete with the rest of the galaxy. These scientists would observe humans, gather data, and report back to the Council. The aliens were sure that after their investigation, they would confirm that humans were nothing to worry about. When the scientists arrived on Earth, they didn't expect much. They landed quietly in a remote part of the world, hoping to blend in. They watched humans go about their everyday lives, without drawing attention to themselves. What they saw confirmed much of what the Council had thought. Humans were busy, but they seemed focused only on their small world. They didn't seem to know anything about space or the galaxy outside their planet. They seemed content with their limited knowledge and simple way of life. The scientists watched humans in their cities, in their fields, and in their homes. They observed how humans painted pictures and created art, but they found nothing special. To the aliens, it all seemed so basic. The colors in the paintings looked dull and unremarkable. The buildings were square and plain. The music was simple, without any of the complex rhythms and melodies that other species used. The Council's scientists assumed that this was just how humans were. They were not capable of more. They couldn't see the universe in the way the other species could. The aliens took notes and made their reports, confident that they had learned everything they needed to know. They'd returned to the Galactic Council with their findings. They reported that humans were not much different from the many primitive species the Council had encountered before. They could only see a few colors, and their art and technology were not advanced enough to pose any real threat. They believed that humans were just another species in the universe, no better or worse than the others. And so, the Council's judgment was clear. Earth was not important. Humans were not a threat. They could be left alone. But what the Council didn't know was that they had missed something big, something that would change everything. The Council had underestimated humans. They thought they knew everything there was to know about the human race, but they were wrong. The surprise came when a small delegation of Council members visited Earth to investigate further. They were still convinced that humans were nothing special, but they wanted to gather more data to report back to the rest of the Council. The aliens landed quietly in a remote location on Earth, far away from the hustle and bustle of the cities. They chose a peaceful place, filled with forests, rivers, and open skies. The humans here were simple, working on farms or living in small villages. The council believed this would be the perfect place to observe them without distractions. At first, everything seemed just as the council had expected. The humans were going about their day-to-day lives, working hard, but doing nothing extraordinary. Some humans were planting crops, while others were tending to animals. Some were even painting pictures of the scenery. The council watched them from a distance, still unimpressed. But then, something strange happened. A young human woman sat down on a grassy hill, overlooking a field full of colorful flowers. She took out a canvas and began to paint. As the council watched, they noticed something unusual. The woman was painting not just a few colors, but a whole range of vibrant hues. She was mixing reds, oranges, blues, and greens, creating a picture that was full of life. The aliens had never seen anything like it before. They had always assumed that humans could only see in dull shades, but here was proof that they could see a whole spectrum of colors. The council members were stunned. How could this be? The reports they had received never mentioned anything about humans seeing so many colors. They had assumed that human art was simple because they could only see a few basic colors. But this woman's painting was filled with shades that the aliens had never even considered. Curious, the council sent a small group of scientists to get a closer look. They approached the woman carefully, trying not to startle her. When they spoke to her, they asked her about her painting. The woman smiled and explained that she loved to paint the world as she saw it, full of color, beauty, and life. She said that she could see every detail, every shade, and every hue in the landscape. To her, the world was a living canvas, full of endless colors. The aliens were shocked. They had always assumed that humans saw the world in a simple way, with only a few basic colors. They never imagined that humans could see the world as the artist did. The council members were beginning to question everything they thought they knew about humanity. The council had thought they understood humans. They thought they knew their strengths and weaknesses, their technology, and their art. But this new discovery was a game changer. If humans could see so many colors, what else could they do? What other abilities did they have that the council had missed? The council scientists began to investigate further. They observed other humans and tested their vision. They found that the woman wasn't the only one who could see a wide range of colors. Many humans could see an incredible variety of hues and shades, far beyond what the council had imagined. Some humans even had the ability to see colors that were invisible to the aliens. This was something completely new to the council. How could humans, a species they had written off as primitive, have such a unique ability? As the investigation continued, the council realized that this discovery was more than just a curious fact about human vision. It was a sign of something much bigger. The ability to see a wide range of colors wasn't just about seeing the world more clearly. It was a sign of the human mind's incredible potential. The way humans saw the world allowed them to think in ways that other species couldn't. They could spot tiny differences in color that others missed, giving them an edge in everything from creating art to designing new technologies. The council members began to feel uneasy. They had always seen humans as small, insignificant creatures. But now, they weren't so sure. What if humans were more powerful than they had realized? What if their ability to see the world differently gave them an advantage that could change the balance of power in the galaxy? The council's plans were starting to unravel. They had assumed that humans would never be a threat, but this discovery was forcing them to rethink everything. The aliens could no longer afford to ignore humans. They had underestimated them, and now they were beginning to fear what else humans might be capable of. The council quickly called an emergency meeting to discuss the discovery. The question on everyone's mind was the same. What did this mean for the future of the galaxy? And more importantly, What would the humans do with this newfound ability? The Galactic Council could no longer deny it. Humans were not as simple as they had once believed. Their discovery of humans' ability to see a vast range of colors had shaken everything the Council thought they knew about the human race. What was even more surprising was that this new revelation was just the beginning. The Council quickly gathered a group of their best scientists to investigate further. They wanted to understand more about how humans saw the world and what this newfound ability could mean. The scientists were now more curious than ever. They had assumed that human vision was limited and that their understanding of the universe was simple. But now, the Council had to ask, how could humans see so many colors, and why did it matter? The Council decided to send a small team of researchers to Earth to study human vision more closely. They wanted to see if every human had the same ability to perceive colors, or if it was unique to certain individuals. The team arrived on Earth, where they began testing humans from different parts of the planet. To their surprise, they found that nearly every human had the ability to see a vast array of colors. Some humans could even see colors that the aliens had never known existed. The researchers were astonished. How could a species so primitive have such a unique and powerful skill? The Council's scientists began to investigate how this ability worked. They learned that humans' eyes could detect an incredible range of wavelengths in the light spectrum, far more than any other species the Council had encountered. Humans could see not just the basic colors, but also shades and tones that the aliens couldn't even comprehend. The Council realized that humans had an edge when it came to perceiving the world around them. As the research continued, the scientists discovered something even more surprising. Humans were using their ability to see colors in ways the Council never expected. They weren't just admiring the beauty of the world around them. They were using their vision to solve problems and create new technologies. Humans could detect subtle differences in materials, identify patterns in nature, and even create new kinds of medicines by understanding how colors affected their environment. The aliens were astonished. They had thought of humans as simple creatures, yet here they were, using their ability to see colors in ways that no one had expected. The Council began to realize that humans' ability to see colors was not just a small quirk. It was a powerful tool that gave them an advantage in almost every aspect of life. One of the most surprising discoveries came when the researchers observed humans' use of colors in art and design. Humans had been creating beautiful works of art for centuries, but the Council had never fully understood how important color was to them. Now they saw that humans used colors to express ideas, tell stories, and communicate emotions. Color wasn't just an aesthetic choice, it was a language. The way humans saw and used color was deeply tied to their understanding of the world. The Council members sat in awe as they watched human artists work. They painted, sculpted, and designed using colors in ways the aliens had never seen before. The humans' understanding of color was more sophisticated than the Council had imagined. They could use color to create new technologies, improve their living conditions, and even influence the world around them in ways the Council had never thought possible. The more the Council learned, the more they began to fear the potential of humans. They had thought humans were just another species, not worth their attention. But now, it seemed like humans had something that no one else had. Their ability to see and use color gave them an understanding of the world that no other species could match. The aliens began to wonder, if humans could use their vision to create such advanced technologies, what else could they do? The Council's leaders called an emergency meeting. They were no longer sure how to deal with the humans. At first, they had written them off as unimportant, but now, they were beginning to realize that humans could pose a threat. If they could harness their ability to see colors in ways that other species couldn't, they might be able to develop weapons, tools, or technologies that were far beyond anything the Council had ever seen. Some Council members argued that humans should be monitored closely to ensure that they didn't become a threat to the galaxy. Others believed that the humans should be left alone, as they had not yet shown any sign of aggression. But no matter what the Council decided, one thing was clear. Humans were no longer the simple, unimportant species they had once thought them to be. The color revelation had changed everything. The Galactic Council was in chaos. For years, they had ruled over countless species across the galaxy with little opposition. They had thought of themselves as the supreme power, unchallenged and invincible. But now, everything was changing. The discovery of humans' extraordinary ability to see and use color had shaken their confidence. Panic was starting to spread through the council. At the emergency meeting, the members were in a state of alarm. Some of them were pacing back and forth, their minds racing with the implications of the new discovery. Others sat in stunned silence, unsure of what to do next. The room was filled with whispers, the fear of the unknown thick in the air. "We can't ignore this," one of the senior council members said, his voice filled with anxiety. "Humans are not as primitive as we thought. Their ability to see so many colors could give them an advantage we never imagined." The others nodded in agreement, though some were still reluctant to accept the truth. "They've been hiding their potential all along," another council member said, his face pale. "We thought they were nothing special. But now we see they could have something far beyond what we expected, something dangerous." The council's most experienced military strategist stood up, his mind already working through the possibilities. "If humans can use colors to create technologies and weapons, they could surpass us in ways we cannot predict," he said. "Their ability to see wavelengths we can't even detect gives them an edge. What else could they have hidden from us?" The room fell into uneasy silence. No one could answer the question. The council had never faced anything like this before. They had seen species rise and fall, but none had surprised them the way humans had. The thought that a species they had once considered insignificant could be hiding such power was terrifying. "We need to act now," one of the younger council members said, his voice sharp with urgency. "We cannot allow humans to continue unchecked. They might be planning something. We need to control them before it's too late." But others were not so sure. "Are we overreacting?" Another member asked. "We don't even know what humans are capable of. Perhaps we should observe them more before making any decisions." The debate raged on for hours. Some argued that the humans should be left alone, that they posed no immediate threat. Others insisted that the council had to act quickly, before the humans' hidden abilities gave them too much power. It was clear that fear had taken hold of the council. They had underestimated the humans for too long, and now they were terrified of what the humans might do next. At the center of the panic was the question of what the humans could really do with their ability to see so many colors. The council had always prided themselves on their advanced technology and scientific knowledge, but the humans' vision had given them a new perspective on the world, one that no one had anticipated. The council could no longer pretend that humans were a harmless species. The council's leaders were split. Some wanted to send a large force to Earth to ensure that the humans didn't pose a threat. Others were more cautious, suggesting that the humans be monitored closely, but not yet targeted. "We can't risk attacking them without knowing what they're truly capable of," one of the most influential council members said. "We need to study them further, but we must act fast. If they have the potential to create weapons or technology that could defeat us, we need to know how they plan to use it." But even as the council debated, they knew that time was running out. Humans were unpredictable. They were resourceful, and they had the ability to surprise. The longer the council waited, the more dangerous humans could become. The fear began to spread beyond the meeting room. As news of the humans' abilities spread throughout the council, panic set in among the lower ranks. Soldiers and officers began to question their orders. Scientists began to look for ways to counteract the humans' abilities. Everyone in the council felt the weight of uncertainty pressing down on them. The council had always believed that they were in control. They had never encountered a species that could challenge them. But now, they realized that they were no longer the masters of the galaxy. Humans, with their unique ability to see colors and harness them in ways no one had imagined, had become a wild card. And in the council's eyes, that was the most dangerous thing of all. As the meeting came to a close, no decision had been made. The council was paralyzed by fear and uncertainty. They couldn't agree on how to proceed, and no one knew how to deal with the humans. One thing was certain, though. The discovery of humans' ability to see colors had changed everything. The council's reign was no longer as secure as it once seemed. The panic among the council continued to grow. The universe had just become a much more unpredictable place, and they were no longer sure who was in control. The Galactic Council had reached a dangerous crossroads. They were terrified by the humans' ability to see an extraordinary range of colors, and panic spread through their ranks. The fear of what humans might be capable of was growing, but in the midst of all this chaos, a hidden advantage began to emerge, one that no one in the council had anticipated. While the council focused on the potential danger posed by humans, a small group of researchers began to consider the possibility that this strange ability could be something more than just a weapon. They started to think that perhaps humans' extraordinary vision might be the key to solving problems that the council had struggled with for centuries. But the idea seemed absurd at first. How could a simple ability like seeing more colors lead to an advantage in the grand scheme of things? One of the researchers, a quiet and thoughtful scientist named Zorath, began to study human vision more carefully. He noticed something that everyone else had missed. Humans didn't just see more colors. They could also use them to understand their environment in ways that no other species could match. Zorath realized that humans could interpret information about their world through color in a way that was far more advanced than anyone had expected. For example, humans could detect slight changes in the color of materials, allowing them to identify the smallest differences in texture or composition. This ability helped them develop better tools and machines. They could detect flaws in metals or identify the most efficient materials for building. In medicine, humans could use their ability to see color to identify diseases and conditions faster than other species could. It was a hidden skill, one that humans had honed over generations, but it gave them an incredible advantage. Zorath quickly shared his findings with a few of his colleagues. Together, they began to realize that this ability might give humans a unique edge in technology and innovation. Their ability to detect and use color could lead to breakthroughs in fields that the Council had struggled to advance. What if humans could develop new energy sources, more powerful weapons, or advanced medical treatments, just by seeing the world in ways no one else could? The more they thought about it, the more excited they became. But there was a problem. The rest of the Council wasn't interested in seeing the humans as a potential source of innovation. They were consumed by fear and paranoia, worrying that the humans' power would be used against them. They couldn't see the bigger picture. They couldn't see the hidden advantage. As the Council continued to argue over the threat humans might pose, Zorath and his team decided to take matters into their own hands. They knew they had to find a way to prove that humans' abilities were not something to fear, but something to embrace. So they began to secretly collaborate with human scientists, offering them knowledge and guidance in exchange for insight into their technology. They didn't tell the Council. If they did, they would risk everything. The humans were hesitant at first, not fully understanding why the aliens were interested in their abilities. But soon, they realized that the aliens weren't trying to harm them. They wanted to learn. They wanted to unlock the potential hidden in the humans' unique vision. For the first time, the humans saw the Galactic Council not as a threat, but as a partner. They began to work together, exchanging ideas and sharing knowledge. What they discovered was beyond anything the Council had imagined. The humans' ability to see colors wasn't just about beauty or artistic expression. It was a fundamental part of their biology that allowed them to interact with the universe in ways that no one else could. Their vision allowed them to perceive energy flows, wavelengths, and patterns that were invisible to other species. It was this ability that had driven their technological advancements. Humans were using color in ways that were far ahead of anything the Council had ever seen. One breakthrough after another followed. The humans taught the Council how to use colors to identify energy sources that had been undetectable before. They showed the aliens how to improve their machinery by understanding the subtle interactions of colors in materials. And most shockingly of all, humans demonstrated how color could be used in new forms of communication, ways to send information across vast distances using light, not just sound or matter. Zoreth and his team were stunned. They had always thought of color as something trivial, a mere aesthetic choice. But now, they understood that humans had discovered a language that transcended anything the Council had ever dreamed of. It was a new form of technology, and it was built on the most unexpected foundation: color. The Council had been so consumed with fear that they had failed to see the bigger picture. They had underestimated humans, believing that their ability to see colors was just a strange quirk. But now, they realized they had been wrong. Humans weren't just a threat. They were a source of untapped potential. The hidden advantage was right in front of them, and they had almost missed it. As the Council members finally began to understand the value of human vision, their attitudes began to shift. The fear that had once gripped them started to fade, replaced by curiosity and awe. The humans, who had once seemed like nothing more than a simple species, had now proven themselves to be far more advanced than anyone had imagined. But the question remained: would the Council fully embrace the humans, or would their fear continue to overshadow the opportunity? The future of the galaxy seemed uncertain, but one thing was clear: humans had a hidden advantage that the Council could no longer ignore. The Galactic Council was in a state of deep unease. The unexpected discovery of humans' extraordinary ability to see colors had turned their world upside down. What had seemed like a minor curiosity was now a source of fear that they could not ignore. The Council's leaders had always prided themselves on their control over the galaxy, but now they realized that their understanding of the universe was not as complete as they had thought. The news of humans' unique vision had spread quickly, causing panic to ripple through the Council. Many species in the galaxy had been watching Earth from a distance, but they had always viewed humanity as a primitive race, one that was not even worth considering. But now, with their newfound ability to perceive colors beyond anyone's imagination, the humans had become a dangerous unknown. The Council had long been accustomed to dealing with threats, but the humans were different. Their ability to see more colors than any other species on record raised more questions than answers. What did this mean for the future of the galaxy? Could humans use this ability to create new weapons? Could they harness the power of light and energy in ways the Council had never even considered? As these questions swirled in the minds of the Council members, fear began to take hold. The fear was not just about what humans could do, it was about the unknown. For the first time in centuries, the Council found themselves powerless to predict what might happen next. This uncertainty, this feeling of losing control, was something they had never experienced before. "We have to stop them," one of the Council members, a powerful representative from the Harkalian species, declared. His voice trembled slightly as he spoke, betraying the fear that he tried to hide. "If humans can create technology based on their unique vision, they could surpass us in ways we can't even imagine. We cannot let them gain more power. We must act now before it's too late." His words struck fear into the hearts of the others. The idea that humans could pose a threat had always seemed laughable, but now it was becoming a real possibility. Some of the older Council members, who had seen countless species rise and fall, were beginning to question their previous assumptions. Could humanity truly become a force that could rival the power of the Council? "We need to prevent them from advancing any further," another Council member, a stern figure from the Hexarun species, added. "Their technology is already evolving faster than we expected. If we wait too long, they might become unstoppable. We need to ensure that humans do not develop weapons or tools that could rival our own." The Council was divided. On one side, there were those who argued for action, who believed that humans must be stopped before they could develop any dangerous capabilities. On the other side, there were those who still held on to the hope that this discovery could be turned to their advantage. They believed that the humans' abilities could be used to help the galaxy, but they were in the minority. The fear of the unknown outweighed any hope of cooperation. As the debates continued, the fear among the council members deepened. There was a growing sense that humanity was a wild card, a species that could not be controlled or predicted. Their ability to see colors gave them access to knowledge and insights that no one else had, and this made them dangerous. The more the council discussed it, the more they realized that humans might be the most unpredictable species they had ever encountered. The fear was not just about humans using their abilities to make weapons or take control of the galaxy. It was also about the fact that humans were so different from any other species. The council had always believed that they understood the universe and the beings within it, but humans had proven that they were an enigma. The very fact that they saw the world in a way that no one else could made them impossible to categorize or fully understand. And that, above all, was what frightened the council. In the darkest corners of the council chambers, whispers began to spread. Some members spoke in hushed tones about the possibility of eliminating humans entirely. It was a drastic measure, but the fear that humans might become a threat was so great that some were willing to consider it. "We can't let them grow stronger," one of the voices in the shadows muttered. "We must crush them before they crush us." But not all council members were willing to go this far. A few still believed that there was a way to peacefully coexist with humanity, that their abilities could be used for the benefit of the galaxy. However, these voices were growing weaker with each passing day. The fear of what the humans might do was taking over, and the council's fear was beginning to cloud their judgment. As the council sat in debate, the threat of their own fear was becoming clear. They had allowed fear to dictate their decisions, rather than reason. In doing so, they were beginning to make mistakes. The fear was closing their minds, and they were no longer seeing the bigger picture. All they could focus on was the possibility of what might go wrong, and they were missing the opportunity to understand what could go right. The future of the galaxy was hanging in the balance. The council's fear of humans had begun to consume them, and in doing so, they were losing the very control they sought to protect. As the Galactic Council sat in fear and uncertainty, a quiet change was happening on Earth. The humans, who had once been viewed as insignificant by the galactic powers, were beginning to realize that their unique abilities were not a curse. They were a gift. The discovery that their vision allowed them to see more colors, more wavelengths of light, than any other species had opened up a new world of possibilities. And now, it was time for humanity to act. On Earth, a small group of scientists, engineers, and leaders gathered in secret. They had been following the news from the stars and had heard rumors of the Council's fear. They knew that the Council saw humans as a threat, but they also knew that they had something powerful, something that could change the course of galactic history. But they had to act carefully, and they had to be smart. Led by Dr. Lena Morrow, a brilliant scientist who had pioneered research into human vision, the group began to develop a plan. Dr. Morrow was not afraid of the Galactic Council. She had spent her entire life studying the mysteries of the universe, and now she knew that the answers to many of those mysteries lay within humanity itself. Humans had a unique way of seeing the world, and that could give them the edge they needed. "We can't wait for the Council to decide our fate," Dr. Morrow said as she addressed the team. "We have to show them that we're not just a species to be feared. We're a species to be respected. We can't let fear control the future." Her words struck a chord with everyone in the room. They knew that the Council was afraid of what they didn't understand, and they knew that it was time to take control of the narrative. Humanity had always been underestimated, but that was about to change. They would show the galaxy that they were more than capable of standing up for themselves. The first step in their plan was to broadcast a message to the Galactic Council. Dr. Morrow and her team worked day and night, using the most advanced technology humanity had developed, to send a signal to the farthest reaches of the galaxy. The message was simple, yet powerful. "We are not your enemy. But do not mistake our kindness for weakness. We will not be silenced." As the message was sent, the team began working on their next move. They knew that simply sending a message would not be enough to change the minds of the Council. They had to show the galaxy that humans could use their unique abilities for good, not just power. They began to share their knowledge, offering solutions to some of the galaxy's greatest problems. One of the first breakthroughs came in the field of energy. The humans' ability to perceive subtle changes in light and color allowed them to develop a new kind of energy source, one that was more powerful, cleaner, and more efficient than anything the Council had ever seen. It was a game changer. The Council had struggled with energy shortages for centuries, but now, humanity had the solution, and they were offering it freely without asking for anything in return. Next, they tackled the issue of communication. Using their understanding of light and color, the humans developed a new form of communication, one that could send messages faster and more clearly than anything the Council had ever imagined. It was a system based on wavelengths and frequencies that no one had ever thought to use. The humans didn't just create a new way to talk to each other. They created a way for the entire galaxy to communicate in a way that was faster, more efficient, and more secure. But the humans knew that simply offering solutions wasn't enough. They had to show the Council that they could be trusted with the future of the galaxy. So they began working on something even bigger, something that would prove once and for all that humanity could be a force for good. They began to design a fleet. Not just any fleet, but a fleet powered by their new energy sources, equipped with their new technologies, and designed to protect, not conquer. The humans wanted to show the galaxy that they could be strong without resorting to violence. They would offer their protection to those who needed it, and they would defend the weak from those who sought to dominate. As the fleet took shape, word began to spread. The Galactic Council could no longer ignore the humans. The message had been received, and the Council had no choice but to acknowledge it. The humans were not waiting to be controlled. They were taking action, and they were doing it on their own terms. But the Council, still gripped by fear, could not understand the humans' motives. They saw the new fleet as a potential threat, not a symbol of peace. And so, they continued to watch from the shadows, unsure of what to do. Were the humans truly offering help, or were they preparing for war? The answer was simple. The humans were not preparing for war. They were preparing for a new kind of future. A future where fear no longer ruled the galaxy. A future where strength was not measured by destruction, but by the ability to protect and to build. And if the Council could not see that, the humans were prepared to show them. Dr. Morrow and her team knew that the path ahead would not be easy. The Council would not surrender their fear easily. But humanity had taken the first step. They had shown the galaxy that they were not afraid of the unknown. They had shown that they were willing to fight. Not with weapons, but with knowledge, with innovation, and with the belief that the future could be brighter. And with that, humanity had finally taken action.